Alice, you're continuing the chase of the story about a shooting that happened more than a week ago. A 14-year-old was shot by police. You talked to the family's attorney, but now you've got the other side of the story from the cops. What do you got?
I've been looking into the shooting of Radazz Hearns, shot 7 times but survived on a Trenton street by 2 law enforcement officers more than a week ago. I've got new details now after a sit-down with a lawyer for one of the officers involved. This gives a radically different spin on the same events from what we've been hearing so far from the family's attorney and even from the New Jersey Attorney General's office. Lawyer Stuart Alterman offers details that we haven't heard before, namely that Radazz Hearns was armed and his client knows because the gun was pointed at him.
Believed that they were in imminent harm, that their lives were in danger, and they were threatened, and they needed to stop the threat. And pursuant to their training and experience, they discharged the firearms.
Stuart Alterman is one of the top police lawyers in the state of New Jersey. He spent time as a corrections officer and a cop before switching over to practicing law, and he says this shooting was what's called righteous, i.e. justified. Alterman said his client was interviewed by the New Jersey Attorney General's office, which is common practice in the shooting, last week. He's been giving mandatory psychological counseling, and he's been placed on leave, as is common in these particular events. And while people around the Hearns family say that Radazz was unarmed and a victim of a police overreach, Alterman says his talks with his client have shown him that this was a justified shooting. We talked about what's called tunnel vision.
When these things occur, police officers go into something called tachypsyche. Tachypsyche is where you go into tunnel vision and things become blurred. You concentrate on only limited visual sighting, and at that particular time, your training and your experience kicks in, and then you react accordingly.
Did the police say anything about why he was only shot in the leg? I mean, you would think 7 shots. These guys are well-trained, and was that on purpose, to just knock him down and not to use deadly force, not to kill him?
Alterman said he certainly can't speak for his client in the moments of what he said was this threat. But I can tell you that it's policy for all law enforcement officers in the state of New Jersey. You do not shoot to wound. You do not shoot warning shots. It just so happened that's where the bullets went that particular night.
Look, no matter which side is right, this story is completely tragic. If he didn't have a gun and he was shot for no reason, it's tragic. And if he's 14 years old with a gun aiming at an officer, it's tragic.
What's next?
Well, we're gonna keep doing our investigation on our own. I'm gonna see if there's any sort of independent corroboration of what happened. Bill, I mean, we talk about 2 sides, but really sometimes in a case like this, you need to see the 3rd side, and sometimes that's from the camera's eye. So I'm gonna see if there's any 3rd-person video that can shed some light on this whole event.